This floor plan is empty and lifeless. And this floor plan is intriguing as it shows how the space is meant to be used. The difference isn't complexity, it's population. Adding furniture, people, materials, and context is what brings the drawing to life. It shows scale, activity, and intent. It's what turns a drawing from a diagram into something believable. In this video, I want to walk through how I effectively populate architecture drawings using the ultimate library built in with Rayon, so you can stay focused on the design and not the asset hunting. If you want to follow along and try this workflow for yourself, there's a link in the description where you can create a free Rayon account and access all Rayon's libraries. Every project is different, but the resources we rely on are always the same. Furniture, people, symbols, materials, layout elements. The issue is how fragmented this usually is. Searching online, downloading blocks, fixing scales, rebuilding things from scratch. And when resources aren't consistent, drawings quickly start to feel messy. Rayon has the ultimate block library. This is where there's thousands of blocks that you can choose from to start populating your drawings. Take this floor plan as an example. We're going to head over to the left hand side here and you can see the blocks. Now in this case you'll have in-model blocks, but you'll also have the libraries where you have all of the blocks that you can choose from. Now the way that you want to search for the blocks, you can either do libraries or blocks. We're going to go into the libraries and you can see here that we have bathtubs and jacuzzis, you've got beds, you've got carpets, you've got commercial kitchen layouts, you've got gyms, pretty much anything you can think of, they're in here. The library contains it. And so if we go down here to start populating this drawing, to really start building in the activity in this space, to start working into this plan in scale, we're going to start dropping in maybe some dining room tables, maybe some cars and vehicles, maybe some plants. There's so many different options that you have available to you to start populating your drawings. Take this dining room table for example, you can then drag and drop this into your model, which will then import it at a 1:1 scale, and you can rotate it. You can scale it up and down, although you don't need to because it's already at a 1:1 scale. So you can drop this into place, for example. You can then edit your blocks by double clicking into them. You can start changing some of the components. You could delete maybe one of the placemats and one of the chairs if you really wanted to. You can start customizing these blocks that you drop into your drawings. And alternatively, you can then import a DWG that you might already have, and then you can create a block out of that. So to do that, you'll head up to the menu, you can then do import, you can do import DWG, you can then toggle these on and off. We're going to keep them all off. We're going to click import, which will then open up and convert that into your model. And this guy here, we're going to try and import him into the model and show you how you can create a block out of him. So if you click continue, and then you do import, you can then select this element, drag all of it, right click, and then do block, which will then create a block. And you can then edit and rename that block to be, I think this is like a painter. Don't ask why I have this painter block. But this demonstrates how if you already have DWG blocks that you already have in your library and you want to bring into your model, it's a really quick and easy way to import those as DWGs and create blocks out of them. Rayon includes thousands of ready-to-use block families, furniture, people, vehicles, trees, and technical symbols. Everything is already to scale and available in top, front, and side view, which means what you place in plan will also work later for sections and elevations. Parametric blocks let you adjust things like doors, stairs, and tables on the fly. And if you need something specific, you can generate custom blocks using AI. I'll touch on that briefly here. And if you want to find a parametric block, you can either find them by simply scrolling through the blocks and looking for a symbol in the top left corner, or you can actually search for them in the block library. So you can do parametric and you can find all of the parametric blocks here. So you'll notice them with a little parametric symbol in the top left corner. And then these are really useful if you want to start working into your drawing by extending certain elements and working with their parameters to either make things larger or longer and stretching them or pushing them. So take this L-shaped sofa, for example, we'll drag it in and you'll see that it will have a little toggle in the corner where you can start extending and stretching that certain parameter, likewise in this direction, or you can extend the width of them and the depth of them, which means that fundamentally it has certain elements that you're pushing and pulling and you're editing the blocks without actually editing the components in the block. You're just simply stretching them and compressing them. Another example is a door. So if we take this door, for example, we drag it in, we place it into our wall, and you can see here you can extend it and it will scale up proportionately. And take a window or a curtain wall as another example. We'll drag that in here. We can drop that in this wall, and I'll show you how it may work in an instance where you want to add another element to that window. As you can see here, push and pull it, it will extend that element without actually stretching or disrupting the block itself. And if there are certain blocks that you can't find as part of the Rayon library or as part of your external library, you can actually generate blocks from certain images that you might have of a piece of furniture or a table or whatever it might be to bring into your model. Now you could do that by pasting your image into the workspace. You can head over to the left-hand side here, go to the AI chat, select the image, click Use Selected Image, go down to Tools, Generate Product, and you'll be able to actually create a block of that image. And it will generate a top, side, front view of that particular image, and it will build a block for you. And as the block generates, you can see here in the left-hand side in the AI panel, if you click Insert Block Family, it will bring it into your model, and then you have your 3 views set up. So it will create that side view, it will create that front view, and the top-down view itself. Adding furniture will help validate the design, the circulation spaces, the proportions, and the general layout of the floor plan. And as you can see here, when you start working the furniture into your floor plan, it really starts to come to life and start validating that design. Over here we have cars that we've imported. We have very different types of cars, hatchbacks. We've got then a sports car that we pulled into the garage. And really by importing these blocks to scale at a 1-to-1 scale, it really helps you to define and adjust some of the spaces to make sure the proportions are right, but also the spaces and the scale of the space is correct. We then have a little office space down here where we've got some kind of covered space with your office desk. And all of this just starts to describe the types of spaces and activities that are going on in this floor plan. And these are all elements that I've imported from the block library. None of these are elements that I've imported myself. And you can see here as I've kind of adjusted and rotated some of these chairs, it indicates some kind of activity and some movement in the floor plan, which I think is really key to start bringing your drawings to life. We then have carpets that you can add various different patterns to, and you can adjust and edit these. You can even add your own images to these blocks to really customize them and bring them to life yourself. And the final block that we want to add to this floor plan is going to be people. People will indicate activity, it will indicate movement, and it will also help reinforce the intended use of these spaces. So you can head to your people library, and in this particular library we have 750 blocks to choose from. You can see here that there are so many options, that you've got people walking dogs, you've got people playing basketball, people cycling, people walking to work. You have hundreds and hundreds of options here to really start bringing your drawing and activity to life. And so we want to bring someone into our hallway here, and we can place them in. They're coming in at 1-to-1, someone walking in with the shopping, someone stood with their laptop, maybe they stood in his office because he's had enough of sitting down. And just by adding those people into the floor plan, it really adds that detail and that activity that we need as part of this floor plan. Working furniture into the floor plan quickly answers questions like, does this actually work? Is this space comfortable? Does this layout make sense? Materials are another core resource that shouldn't slow you down. The style library will allow you to customize your drawing and also show the representation of materiality, of finishes that you want to demonstrate in your floor plans. You can do that by either using the polyline and actually drawing shapes yourself and applying a hatch and texture to them, or you can use zones. Now, zones are really key for choosing particular areas of interest. For example, we can take this kitchen where we can apply a zone. We can apply a zone to this utility cupboard, a bathroom, the office space, for example. You can select the zone, change the zone to, let's say, kitchen. Starting to style the drawings will not only help you add your own style to the drawing in terms of how you want to communicate your drawings, but it will also help you with representation of certain materiality or certain finishes that you want to work into your floor plan. And then the beauty of these zones is that you can select these elements and you can then start changing the fill to add hatches and textures. So if we select the fill, we can head across to textures and hatches. In this case, if we select a pattern, we can then start adding some realistic finishes. For example, this floor finish that we can start adding, which you can then start editing and adjusting. You can start scaling up the pattern or scaling it down. You can change the opacity, which in this case I find really useful because we don't want the pattern to almost take over the drawing. We want it to be a feature of the drawing and a style of the drawing, but not take over it. And we can then work through the floor plan by adding various finishes and textures that we want to apply to bring the drawing to life and make it look and feel realistic. And the textures that I'm selecting here in the style panel are the textures that are currently available in your model. But you can also access Rayon's vast material library where you have access to hatches and textures that you can import into your models. So if you head to the style panel on the left hand side here, you can see that all of the styles that are saved in your model are located here. But you can also then head to libraries, where you can then actually start importing libraries from other models that you have that you're working on as a team, but then you can also import various hatches or textures that you want to import into your drawing. Take the patterns hatch, for example. We can then start importing some stars or some tartan or a V pattern. We could then maybe go into a roof hatch where you've got certain roof finishes, certain kind of octagon patterns. But the textures that I think are really useful to import are the particular kind of wood textures, which are really great for kind of floor finishes, and in this case applying to this floor panel here. So you can scroll down, you can choose a particular one that you're looking for. Say let's do this one as a kind of maybe like a decking outside in the garden. Click the three buttons, click import, and that will then be imported into your model. You can then apply that by drawing a polyline around that shape, that particular shape, and then applying that fill by going into your texture, and then you'll be able to find that particular element that's just been imported from your library. Select that piece, and now we have a kind of decking. And then we can look at that and we can maybe say, let's actually make that decking slightly thicker, so there's slightly bigger planks of wood, like so. And then just purely for a graphical perspective, we can then drop that down to maybe 40%. Now you can do the same for adding grass to your garden. You can add concrete to your driveway. You can add concrete or tarmac to your garage, and you can really start building into your floor plan to add all of these materials and textures that will bring the drawing to life, to show that it represents the real material in that floor plan. Alternatively, if you actually had a particular material finish that you wanted to apply to your drawings, say you've been looking at materials with a client and they want you to apply that to your floor finishes, you can either open it as a file in Rayon, or you can copy and paste it. Say you've done a Google search and you want to copy and paste it into your drawing. You can then also create a style from this particular material that you've imported. So you can select this element, you could then save that as a style. And for example, if you wanted to apply that marble floor finish to this WC, we could then do replace all and select that marble finish, and that would be imported. And of course you can scale that up and scale that down if the image is too big or too small, to get the proportions correct in your floor plan. But fundamentally, you can start seeing how you can start adding material and texture into your floor plan to start bringing it to life. These hatches are consistent across plans, sections and details, which helps maintain a clear visual language throughout the drawing set. Rayon's style library includes seamless material patterns for floors, walls and surfaces, for stones, timber, concretes and tiles, for example. You can apply and scale them directly in the drawing, which makes material intent clear without over-rendering. So the real power comes when you start to build your own systems. You can create your own block and style libraries for yourself or your team. And to build your library, it's fairly straightforward. If you have certain elements that you want to save as a style and that you want to add to your drawing set, or for future drawings or future projects that you want to work on as a team, all you'll have to do is select the element, head over to save style, change that, a timber floor finish, which will then save into your left-hand side here where you've got your model styles. So you'll then start to build up a bit of a library that you can then, for example, if you wanted to select the same style across here, you could then do pick style. You could apply that style to your patio area at the back here. And it becomes very quick and efficient way of being able to adjust and amend styles in your project. And if you wanted to start adjusting and applying some styles to your blocks in your floor plan, you could double click into the element, select any element, click pick style. In this case, I've actually downloaded and brought in a kind of dark walnut finish here, which you can then select, and you'll be able to see that all of the same block, so that chair block across the model now has that finish applied to it. And if you wanted to apply, I don't know, the same finish to this, you can then select the same element again, do pick style, and it'll be able to apply that same finish to those elements. And now the beauty of this is that you can click into this, select it, save that as a style, and do that as a dark walnut finish. And this will start building up your style library, which we can then export and share as part of your team very quickly and easily. Now to share this across your team, all you'll have to do is head to the top right corner, click share, and you'll be able to see here that this is where you'll be able to share access to the model itself, but also to your libraries. So if you click publish libraries, publish styles, and publish blocks, as you see here, they're both ticked now. Now, whenever you share this link, so if you invite someone or you share the link itself by doing a public link, everyone then has access to those styles and those blocks that are now part of this model. So if you're working as a team, anyone working within this project or working on other projects can use the same styles and apply it to their particular model. Customize once, reuse everywhere. This creates a single source of truth and keeps drawings consistent across projects and collaborators. And you can publish your library to make it accessible from all models to your whole team with a single click. And the final elements I want to talk through to build your presentations is going to be title blocks. Now, title blocks can be created really quite simply. After you create a page in your model, we're going to create an A3 page. And then what you can do is head over to your blocks once again. Now there's a block library called title blocks and annotations. And here you'll see you've got plenty of options for different title blocks, scale bars, north arrows, all of the elements that you'll need to add that level of detail required to your drawings. Now, if you find a particular title block that we want to drag in, so let's do this A3 one as an example, drag and drop it in. And you can see here, you can drop this into place, you can double click into it, and you can start amending and editing some of these templates. You can edit some of these colors, for example, if you wanted to custom add maybe a bright red, or you wanted to add your own kind of graphic touch with maybe a soft grey/red. But in my case, I quite like the analog feel of a drawing, so a black and white with maybe a touch of red. And so one of my favorite title blocks in Rayon is this horizontal title block here, which has been worked into where you've got certain elements for drawing numbers, you've got certain elements where you can add a title, you've got maybe a key plan where you can start adding some kind of zoomed in to show some context of the key plan in the wider site, and then some elements where you can start to add text. And having this kind of grey background just makes the image feel framed and kind of composed on the page. And then the finishing touch is to bring your drawing into the presentation. You can do that by heading over to the layers, click the plus button, click view, down into your model canvas for your floor plans and elevations. We can then select that as maybe a 1 to 200 drawing. We drag and position that on the page, and we can crop that down so that it is composed. And we can of course rework into it. You can reposition it by double clicking in, using your toggle on your mouse. You can then position it in place. If you then didn't want to pan and zoom, you can zoom in and out and pan across your page itself. Click done, and then you'll have your image associated with your title block and all your annotations included. And you'll be able to see here that you could do that across a full document set by adding maybe a mood board and some material references. You can add various other images to your page. You can add some images alongside some details. And then finally, you can add your elevations and sections in side by side to show the presentation all together using the block library and everything that's available to you within Rayon to build your presentations. Rayon includes pre-built templates for plans, sheets, and presentations, and you can create your own to kick off projects faster. This means your drawings, layouts, and presentation elements all speak the same language. Populating drawings is about making architecture legible. When the right resources are already there, blocks, materials, hatches, templates, you spend so much less time searching and more time designing. For me, that's the difference between an empty drawing and one that actually communicates the intent of the drawing. If you want to follow along or explore these libraries yourself, there's a link in the description to create a free account and access the drawings used here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.